because Wednesday they had a press conference, and I thought they were going to let me know then. And when I found out it wasn't the coroner's press conference, I was like, oh, this, you know, I was all exuberant again and saying, hey, you know, it's still hope. It's still hope. It looks kind of grim, but it's still hope. And then and in the back of my mind, I mean, it was a small 10%, if you will, that said this could happen. And in my own moments, I would deal with that the best I could. But I just didn't hope it would come out all from one of the newspapers. And they knew. And so they kind of picked my brain and they like, how are you feeling right now? I said, I'm fine. What's the matter? And I started getting all these phone calls and like, how are you doing? And I said, well, I'm on my way to work, you know. They're like, you are? And so the newspaper called me and she says, well, you don't know.
And when I got in the car, I heard it on another radio station. And then I picked up the phone and I called Michael and I said, they called the press conference for 9:30. I'll pick you up, let's go. And in the course of going to pick him up from his job, it was announced all over the airwaves that it was Mitrice. So there was a voicemail on his phone from the coroner's office, but instead of waiting to make physical contact, instead of waiting until they actually spoke to him, they decided to use that voicemail as making contact and move forward with the press conference.
I want to make a personal appeal to law enforcement and to the coroner's office to please not leak information before you have contacted me, the mother of Mitrice Richardson, to give me preliminary information about these bones. This is my baby that I've raised. This is my life. She's my future that I've bred. Give me the courtesy.
But I can't put a question mark where God has put a period. I am still supposed to rejoice and thank God for the many blessings that I still continue to receive from everybody. Is God picked the best way to handle it in a way that I can accept it.
Throughout Mitrice's disappearance, that the sheriffs have remained consistent. They were consistent in messaging.
Before they do further damage, they got to dot their I's and cross their T's because Mr. Richardson is on their heels. To show you their bedside manners. Quote unquote, we're not a babysitting organization. It's not our job to keep inmates and worry about what they do.
I listened to everything that Sheriff Leibach said. He said, you know, Mitrice's body may never tell us what happened to her. And I just thought that was really interesting that before you even begin an investigation in terms of finding out the cause of death, you're already ruling out homicide. You're already letting the media know that chances are we'll never know what happened to her. And that was really disheartening and very upsetting to hear from the head of the sheriff's department. It's like you wait before you come to those conclusions. At least go forward with the investigation to try to see what you can find out. Not that I have a lot of faith in the sheriff's department at this point, but at least try to find out what happened. I thought it was really interesting that Steve Whitmore, when questioned by the reporters about the location of Mitrice, made it clear that you couldn't walk there, that there were no foot trails, that in fact they even had to be airlifted into that area to get mine. She didn't want to make any speculation that it was homicide or that someone put her.
Everyone to know this. I've done because of you guys' support in this community and backing me. I know I really don't sound like a grieving person right now, but I'm hurting. But that takes too much energy right now. I got a fight ahead of me that's probably about the biggest title bout in my career of 43. Those who had not been there, unfortunately, it took this conclusion to get people involved that wasn't there. But that's fine because we guys know that this was the month of September and this is a day after she went missing. You'd have vigilante on your hand. We cannot allow this. I know, I feel for Oscar Grant.
Same judge who covered up and allowed all those Rampart officers to go, that this was a cover-up.
like Mitrice Richardson, I promise this community will break history about the results I'm going to get done for her. Cover you, and meaning to say, bury you, hold a funeral service for you until I can bring you 100% closure. She's not going to be happy. Some people want to bring closure, and some people want to have a service properly. But for as me, it's not over until I can safely say I did it. I found out the support that you guys continue to give me. I promise you that. The outcome of this is not over.
Thank you, and thanks Stevie Wonder and everyone at KJLH, because this truly is the people's station. Without KJLH, you know, we wouldn't be where we are today, just in terms of the community knowing what they know. So thank you.
It's not over. It's not over.
To make sure that accurate information about Mitrice is provided to the public.
Leimert Park Monday, that's the 16th at 6 p.m. I'm glad to announce that KJLH is supporting that and going to help us out with the radio equipment and sound system so everyone can be heard. And again, it's going to be positive but effective. No candles, no sadness, because that's going to let you know we're getting weak and start singing them hymns. We coming out here, we want some results.
Oh yeah, you're my brother, you're my sister. That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. That's just the way it is. Oh yeah, some things will never change.